All right, we had a poor connection. Jim Larson coming to you live Wednesday morning. It's your double dose of motivation. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. Always love being here. And as always, guys, the thumbs, the hearts, the shares, those mean so much to me as I come back and I read all those comments and everything. It's really amazing. And a lot of you guys have shared this. And, I'll even sometimes follow up on the comments that your followers put on there. And I saw one guy, he doesn't know me, he doesn't follow me. He commented on one of your posts. He's like, wait, is this like a radio show or something? I'm like, yeah, only the best radio show ever. Either that or it's just a dude standing in his front yard with a sweatshirt talking about life. I mean, either or. But guys, thanks again for being here. What did we do last week? Last week was one of the most powerful experiences that I personally have had doing this. And it's been week in and week out now for months, guys. And last week was incredible. Why was it incredible? Because we talked about gratitude. We talked about appreciation. Good morning, Amanda. Hey, Jamie. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. We talked about gratitude. See, we looked at that glass and we talked about the half full, half empty. And we said we actually have to be the powerful optimist that sees the glass as half full, because what happens? When we see the glass as half empty, our focus is on what we do not have. And when we focus on what we do not have, we forget to see what we do have. And when we can't see it, we can't value it. When we can't value it, we can't appreciate it. And when we can't appreciate it, we can't love it. So last week we talked about how do we learn to live a life of gratitude and appreciation. And it was amazingly powerful. We had a challenge to hashtag taking back my story, and to post a post during the week where you genuinely appreciated something with that hashtag. And can I tell you guys, I followed that hashtag throughout the week and we poured a little love out into the universe. You guys were amazing. Literally pouring out your appreciation for things so often overlooked. And isn't that what we do? We so easily appreciate things when they're gone. And that actually hit me. After I had done my video, Sonia went away overnight to New York. She had to do an event. And I'm there the next morning, in charge of the kids, in charge of, getting everything together. And normally she's a big player in that game. And I'm looking at the kids' rooms and everything. And it's like, like a bomb went off in our house. And it became immediately very, very easy to appreciate Sonia. Because why? Because she was gone. And don't we do that in our lives so often? We appreciate things when they're gone, when we don't have them. How much more valuable and meaningful and fulfilling would our lives be if we learned to appreciate while we still had it? Gosh, guys, I'm telling you, that's a game changer for life and fulfillment. Now, the reason we did this, why did we go through that at all? Because here's the thing. I believe that you, that me, that all of us, in our lives, we have success ability and we have failure ability. We can, all of us, succeed or we can fail. And picture it literally like a thermometer. Up top, you have successful you. This is the one that's sexy in a bikini or sexy in a thong. This is the one that has money, power, meaningful relationships, can look in the mirror and be proud of their character and feel fulfilled. At the other end of this is the failure spectrum. This is the version of you that is obese, hasn't showered or shaven in 3 weeks, and is living on a futon in a neighbor's shed, likely without the neighbor knowing. Okay, so those are our potentials, guys. I mean, we can reach this or we can fall to this. And the reality is most of us are gonna end up somewhere in that middle. But what I want us to do is I want us to edge ourselves closer and closer here, because I want us to live a life by design and not default, where we're driving and not drifting, where we're flying and not floating. And as we are intentional and as we make choices to move forward, we can edge closer and closer to that version of ourselves that we truly want to be. So we're challenging, we're coming through, but see, what I want you to know and why we did last week and why last week should have been the first week we ever did was because success is not something you arrive at. See, ultimately, what is success? Success is that feeling of fulfillment where you can look at your life and you can be proud and you can be happy and you can be fulfilled and you can say, I have what I am looking for. That's success. And I'm going to tell you, that doesn't happen up here. That happens this whole journey, the whole journey. If you don't understand how to have gratitude, how to live a life of appreciation and to see and value and love what you have in front of you, then you are never going to be fulfilled or happy, even if you reach this point. So we had to go through that, guys, last week. We had to. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep moving this and progressing this because, I want to challenge us to take back our stories so we can write intentionally powerful things so that we can have a story that inspires people, that raises up our children to be amazingly powerful, that inspires our spouses and our neighbors. I want us to take back our stories. Stop giving it away to fear, to circumstances, to insecurities, to doubt. Stop giving it away. But here's what I realized as I was thinking through what we were going to talk about this week. What I realized is that so many of us, we don't have to take back our story. We never had it to begin with. We never had our story. Why is that? Well, think about it. See, we have our whole lives lived for other people. From the time we were kids, our parents, told us what to do. And then we went into school and our teachers told us what to do. Okay? And then we started playing sports and our coaches told us what to do. And then we went to college and a syllabus told us what to do. And then we went out and we got a job and a boss told us what to do. And then we get married, well, our wives certainly tell us what to do, right? And then we had kids and the demands of kids tell us what to do. And all of a sudden, we get into the middle of our lives. We have never once in our lives lived for anybody but the demands, the expectations, and the tellings of somebody else. It is, for so many of us, it has never even crossed our minds to have a story because we've constantly been living for others. And let me tell you that idea of living for others has so invaded our thought processes. Because what happens the minute you think you want something, you want to wear something, do something, go somewhere, what's the first thing that enters your mind? Well, what would other people think? Am I right? That's the first thing you think. That's your first fear because you have literally been so ingrained to do for others, do for others, do for others, do for others. From the time you were a kid, you've been doing for others that the very second you think, I might want to do something, you shrink down because, well, what would other people think? We are so ingrained with living for other people, we forget ourselves altogether. Guys, isn't that what a midlife crisis is? A midlife crisis is simply somebody that woke up. They might be in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. They woke up and they said, whoa, this is absolutely not what I had in mind. I am taking back control. I have never had control of my life. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to get me a motorcycle. And I'm going to go cross country and I'll deal with the consequences when I get back. Guys, isn't that a midlife crisis? It's this recognition, all of a sudden, it's an on-the-moment recognition that says, I haven't done anything for myself ever. Dear Lord, let me please do something for me. And does it have to be that way? See, sometimes the opposite is true. Sometimes we never even have a midlife crisis and we just forget ourselves until we become absolutely an afterthought that doesn't even exist. And we, like robots, we go forward always living for other people. We never have a midlife crisis, but we also never live. I'd much prefer to be the midlife crisis guy because at least that guy has an awakening where he's going to take back some control. Much rather be that guy than the one that goes through their whole life like a robot and never exerts that control. But I'm going to tell you that there's actually a better way. You don't need to have a midlife crisis to take back control. And you don't have to be a robot that floats through life always living for other people. You can take your story back. Even if you've never had control of it before, you can take it for the first time. You can take it back. That's what we're going to talk about here today. Because here's the thing. So many of us live a life of service. Service to other people, to our kids, to our spouse, to our jobs. Like we said, we're always living for other people. But here's what we confuse. See, we confuse a service of slavery where we have no choice in the matter with a service of love. where we absolutely have a choice. We've confused that. See, we always say to ourselves, well, I'm living for my kids. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for this person, for this person. I have to do this. I have to do this. And we're living this life of service. And we think, well, isn't service good? Isn't it good, generous, kind to live for other people? And I'm going to tell you, no. It's not. Not if you didn't choose it. Because if you didn't choose to be generous, if you didn't choose to be selfless, if you didn't choose to give, to love, to serve, if that wasn't a choice that you made, then it's meaningless. It is the service of slavery where you are absolutely powerless to do anything. And at the point of a gun, you said, I have to. I have no will. I have no choice. I'm going to do this. That is not the service of love. And don't confuse those things. See, you can live a life of powerful servanthood. People have written amazing life stories about generosity and giving and servanthood and living for other people. You can absolutely do that. But those powerful life stories are the life stories where people chose to live for others, where they made a conscious choice to love. See, isn't that what love is, right? Isn't love a conscious choice to put the needs of the other person first, even when maybe you don't feel like it? That's love. Love is not a feeling. Love is a conscious choice to serve the other person, even when you don't feel like it. It's not service of slavery, where you are forced and powerless. And that's where we live so often. We confuse the two. We get stuck. We think that service is good, period. And I'm telling you, service is not good, period. Service is only good when it comes from a heart of love, when it comes from a choice. When you say, I could do anything in the world, but I'm choosing to do this now. I'm choosing this. That is a far, far different thing than having no choice and being powerless. So how do we take that back? How do we take our stories back from constantly living for other people to realizing that we can live for other people, but it's our choice. It's our life. And when we learn this, guys, it's going to flip this switch where all of a sudden, we have power back in our stories, and we don't need to hit a midlife crisis to wake up and realize that we've been powerless. And we don't have to float like robots through our lives, never being powerful and always being powerless. We can awaken this. Now, how are we going to do it? Number one, we are going to stop caring what other people think. You know, they have that fun joke that says, when I was in my 20s, I cared a lot what people thought about me. When I was in my 40s, I didn't care what anyone thought about me. And then when I was in my 60s, I realized nobody ever thought about me. Because people are doing their own lives. They're worried about their own things. They're all worried about what other people are thinking about them. They have far more other things on their plate to do than worry about what you're doing. So stop. Stop worrying about other people. When you get that little wild hair that says, I might want this, and your mind immediately goes to what would other people think, stop that. Some days I want to wear my cargo shorts and my cowboy boots together. Sonia looks at me and says, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Cowboy boots, they've got to go with jeans. You absolutely cannot wear cargo shorts. Some days, down it, I want to. I ain't going to care what other people think. You might see me around town. Cowboy boots, cargo shorts. And you know what? I don't care what people think. Life is too short for me to care what other people think. So one, you're going to stop caring. Two, you're going to live with the end in mind. Guys, this is powerful, and this will likely be a broadcast all by itself, but we're going to live with the end in mind. What that looks like is choosing, okay, at the end of my life, that success point, that point up here, I want people to say this about me. This is the person that I want to be. And once you can nail down who it is you want to be, you know where you're going. Now you can take steps toward that end. So often we never think about that. So we float like robots through life, always doing what we're supposed to and told to, but we're never living with that end in mind. So that's a really neat one. That's going to be one that we do, because I'll tell you, it influences everything. See, I want to be a man where at the end of my life, people are saying he loved his wife and he was faithful to her. So I make steps to make sure that people are going to be able to say that about me. Like, I don't know, I don't go out for drinks with girls by myself with them at night. Like, that would be a dumb decision. So I make conscious decisions to not put myself in a position to compromise what I ultimately want to achieve in my life. So that'll be a whole other broadcast. But the last thing I want you to realize, and this is going to be the big takeaway for today, is to choose. Okay? So he said, stop caring what others think. Live with the end in mind. But lastly, choose. Stop acting like your actions, your day-to-day actions, stop acting like they are not a choice. Guys, they are a choice. We all have choices. And all of a sudden, you don't need to have a midlife crisis to realize that you are powerfully in control. All it is it's just a flip of your mind. Instead of, I have to do the laundry, and we frame it with language that's defeating and servanthood because we have to, and we're powerless and we have no choice. We say, I love my children, and I'm going to choose to do the laundry today. See, I could do anything else, but I'm choosing to do this with my will and my love and my power because my children need clean clothes, and I love them. I choose to go to work today. I hate my job. I really, really would like to find another job, but no one's making me go. I'm choosing to go to work. Why? Because I love my family and I need to provide for them so that they can eat and that they can move forward with their lives. I am choosing these things. I don't need to have a midlife crisis to all of a sudden take back control of my life. All I have to do is realize that I've never not had control of my life. I have always been in control of my life. I just believed a lie that told me I didn't. I just believed a lie that said, do as I'm told, do as I'm told, do as I'm told. From the time that I've been 5 years old, I have simply done what I've been told. Everyone, from my parents, coaches, teachers, bosses, wife, everybody tells me what to do. And I've acted my whole life like I was powerless and like I was a robot. If you want to avoid that and you want to have power and control over your story, you just need to flip that script and say, I'm choosing this. Because I want the result of what it is going to bring. It is worth it to me. So I'm going to do these dishes. And no, do I actually want to do dishes? No, I hate doing dishes. But I'm going to do them because it has to get done and I love my family. This is a choice that I'm making. So today, this week, we're going to continue hashtag taking back my story. Okay? But what I want us to do with it is we're going to pick one of two posts here. See, I loved following that hashtag all week and watching you guys pour out appreciation and gratitude and appreciating things that you often overlook, that we often overlook. Okay? That we're going to continue hashtag taking back my story because I've loved following it, but here's what we're going to post. One of two things, maybe both. One, you're going to post one of your mundane everyday activities, the ones that you have felt forever like you have had to do and you've had no choice. You're making your kids' lunches, you're doing the laundry, you're going to work. All of these mundane have to do things, you're going to post doing one of those, but you are going to post about how you are choosing it. And how you are back in control and you are powerful and you are choosing it. That's going to be one post. The other post is you're going to do something scary that might have otherwise embarrassed you because you've been scared. What would people think? Well, you're going to stop caring what other people think. You're going to stop living your lives for the demands of other people. You're going to start making conscious choices to do the things that are valuable to you and are going to bring value to your life and your family. So you know what? If you want to wear your cowboy boots with your cargo shorts, go for it. Hashtag taking back my story. Jim Larson, double dose of motivation every Wednesday morning. Following that hashtag with you guys. Have an amazing week.